Good afternoon, or good morning, good evening, wherever this may find you. Welcome to another week of Wild and Wacky Chit Chats with the twins. I am Krista, and I'm all by myself today, and actually a couple days late because on Wednesday, Kara was with me at Buffalo Pound, and we just really wanted to enjoy the day. So, nonetheless, here I am a couple days later. So hopefully some of you can join me now. I'll just wait a few minutes here to see if anyone pops on and see if I can get on here. There I am. All right, a few people are showing up here. So this week's Wild and Wacky Chit Chats, I thought I would switch it up a little bit and share some of the spiritual meanings of 3 of the animals that I saw while I was away at Buffalo Pound. And I thought it would be fun, because there's 3 of them, so I thought it would be fun if, oh, hi, hello Angie, and hi Louie, sneaking at work, that's awesome. Okay, so what I thought you guys could do is pick either 1, 2, or 3, and I'm going to read the spirit meanings of the 3 animals that I saw that really that I really took note to, enough that I looked up the spiritual meaning of them. And you can pick a couple of them, you can pick 1, you can pick all 3 of them. Louis saying number 2. Okay, and so also, like, Kara and I know both you, Angie, and Louie for sure, have joined us on our last day 30-day adventure, where we are saying an access consciousness saying 30 times a day for 30 days. And it is, what can I choose to be that I refuse to be, that if I would be it, would open up all receiving as if by magic. And as I really reflected on this last 9 days, I guess I was at Buffalo Pound with really no internet service and really being present. And the last week, it just, and seeing these animals and reading the spirit card animal meanings really brought a lot of clarity to me that I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to share it. So as I say this, the meaning of the different spirit animals, I'll kind of share my story of the week as it went along. So the first animal is actually a vulture. So at Buffalo Pound, they're actually turkey vultures, and they're quite mesmerizing to look at because they would fly above us as we walked on the trails. And actually, my husband, he likes to go biking at Buffalo Pound, and he said that they always circle around him, these turkey vultures. And as me and my kids and Kara walked through these paths, through the trees and in nature, we would see these turkey vultures following us, kind of like soaring above us, circling around us. And then on my last day when I went down to the beach, they were there as well, kind of just, staying distant from me, but I just got the sense that they were trying to communicate with me. So, good afternoon, Sherry. Glad you could make it here. So, I just wanted to read to you guys the vulture spirit meaning, oracle message. And these are from Colette Baron Reed. She's got a deck of spirit animal cards, which I am going to order. Kara has some, and we use them all the time, and I've decided I want my very own pack of them, but I looked them up online. So, vulture spirit. What seems hideous has its own beauty, and the recycling and repurposing the vulture does and the recycling and the repurposing the vulture does is as important as any other activity in nature that supports a cycle of life. Vulture spirit's message is nothing that is to be wasted, for nature sees value in everything that exists. What seems rotten and ugly has the potential to be transmuted into something beneficial, and you are reminded that any suffering you have experienced has not gone to waste. Wisdom and understanding that arose from the experience are talismans that will serve you on your journey wherever you go. What is decaying is only changing form. and will fertilize seeds you wish to plant, turning that which has passed away into the substance that will support new growth. All that you might wish to deny or discard has value and can be repurposed and reintegrated into the new you that you are becoming and the new life that you are dreaming into being. No pain was vain and no experience was wasted, for you have the power to use it to co-create something far better. This is a miracle in your partnership with Spirit. Hello, Melinda. And to me, so with Vulture Spirit and the things that we look at in our life that are, you know, like that thing that is hideous, or we think it's a problem, or we wonder why we keep choosing this, why we keep ending up in these same situations, you know, why we keep being dealt these cards. To me, it is all about choice. And so whatever is going on in your life, you are choosing it for some reason. Now, it might be that the only reason is, and really the reason doesn't matter, you just make another choice. But sometimes it's as simple as it worked once, and therefore you kept choosing it over and over again because you wanted the same result. Well, it doesn't always work that way. And Sherry says, we have 2 turkey vultures around our farm for the last 3 years. They just had babies. Oh, they're really quite fascinating to watch, hey? And they're huge. It's amazing that they can fly with the size of bodies that they have. So I was mostly thinking about a situation, and I know I talked about it in last week's Wild and Wacky Chit Chats with my daughter, Izzy, and how she was just really, we were butting heads. And, you know, everything, like she would just wake up complaining about something, and everything was a struggle, and everything was hard, and here's me on the other side resisting and reacting to her the whole entire time for a couple of days. And I was like, this is supposed to be our good getaway, and we're supposed to be having fun, like this is our family adventure together, and like, why is this happening, and blah blah blah. And then I really had to stop myself and ask, what is the beautiful energy that lies beneath all of this? And what came to me was an allowance of myself, an allowance of others, allowance of what we're choosing. So if we don't like what we're choosing, and we don't like the crap that's showing up in our life, what else would we like, and what else could we choose? So with Izzy, I was like, okay, well, I know how she's going to wake up. I know how she's going to be throughout the day. So it's my choice that I'm getting mad at how she's being in the world. So the only thing that can change that is me being an allowance of her, recognizing who she is, and being okay with that. And once I recognized that, and once I allowed my barriers to drop and to just receive her as she was, and, you know, do whatever I needed to do, like if it, you know, like if her, the way she was being, if I didn't want to be around that, well, I had a choice. I could leave, or I could ask her to go somewhere, you know, like go play or whatever. And so it's like that with every situation. Like take any of your relationships where you just like, you always seem to attract the same qualities in men or women, or you always seem to attract this kind of a boss, or, you know, like, and take any relationship and look at what is it that you think you have no control over, and just switch camera lenses a little bit. Just look at the situation from a different angle. What choices are available to you? And maybe that might mean leaving a relationship, you know, or maybe it just might mean knowing that this person is going to be this certain way in this certain situation. What can you do with that? What can you be with that? Could you have no point of view about it? Could you be that interesting point of view? Or do you just not want to put yourself in that situation? You know, like we always have choices. 3, my birthday today, says Tentasia. Okay, wow. Hey, Aaron. Oh, it's nice to see all you guys on here. So I guess just summarizing the vulture spirit, just really be an allowance of everyone in your life, including yourself, and really be aware of the things that seem to be crappy, that seem to be like the garbage, like the things that seem to be you're struggling with, your problems, like whatever they may be. And imagine like your choices being like the thing that plants a new seed, so that takes this garbage situation and gives it a little nurturing and a little spin. And what else could it grow into? What else could come to fruition because of your choices? So instead of just being mad at a situation, ask some questions. What else is possible here, and what beautiful energy lies beneath all of this? It's probably one of my favorites. Okay, owl spirits. So I saw an owl 3 times while I was there. The first time I was walking back from the beach back to the campgrounds, and lo and behold, all of a sudden I just looked up, and right there's this owl staring at me, and I nearly fell over because I was so close to it. And what a powerful, beautiful being. Like, oh my God, I was just mesmerized it, and I had a healthy dose of fear. And then, so I just kept walking, but I felt a real connection with this owl, and also a respect for the owl to just carry on walking, but connecting energetically with it. And then the next day, it was sitting at the trunk of a tree, a different tree, again, startled me. And again, kind of the same situation. And then the third time I saw it was when Kara was there at Buffalo Pound, and we were walking back. Or we had walked down to the beach, and it was sitting on a picnic table. It had its back facing us, but you knew it was very aware of us. And we just sat, and we actually, we gifted energy to the owl, and I know that we received just as much from it. And it was just a really beautiful moment shared with this owl 3 times. So I couldn't deny that the owl spirit was trying to reach out to me and to you guys to share this message. So anyone that picked number 2, this message is for you. Owl spirit arrives to remind you that the wisdom within you is informed by your keen senses and the wisdom within the consciousness we all share. Even in the darkest night, the owl sees clearly and is guided by every sense it has, including the first sense of intuition. Right now, your sensitivities are turbocharged, and you are receiving messages from all directions. Owl Spirit reminds you to be wise and pay attention to what is between the lines, what is invisible to the naked eye, what cannot be heard with the ears, and what others may not be able to perceive. With all your senses aroused, you have much knowledge available to you. Clarity will come as you sit with all that you are sensing, allowing your intuition to guide you in understanding the whole and not just the parts. Let your wisdom arise and be your guide as you trust the acuity of all your senses. Intuition is real and can provide the clarity you need to understand your situation right now. Your relationship, your finances, your job, whatever it is, you can see the truth clearly now. And to me, this is all about putting your barriers down. So your barriers are all of your points of views, all of your beliefs, all of your judgments, all of your expectations, all of your projections. Anything basically that you're using your head to figure out is a barrier. So anytime you're upstairs in your old noggin, that is you putting up your barriers, that you're trying to figure something out, but you're not going to find the answers in your head. So Owl Spirit reminds us to use all of our senses, and the best way to do that is by putting our barriers down. So right now, if you would with me, all you have to do is ask. You can't get it right or wrong, but just for now in this moment, just put your barriers down. And expand yourself in every direction. So imagining the little molecules of energy dancing around your body and pushing them out into the room that you're sitting in. out every direction, out the front of you, the back, the sides, up out of your head and down through your feet, into the province you're in, into the country you're in, and going and filling the whole earth, including down through the earth and out into the universe, going 100,000 miles in every direction. And being aware of all the energies, using your senses to just be aware. Just be aware of the energies surrounding you and not making any of them significant. Just acknowledging it. Is this even mine? Does this belong to somebody else? Return it to sender if it doesn't. Anything that makes you feel heavy is a lie. So pushing your barriers down. And you know, I really wanted like some major significant mind-blowing epiphanies to happen while I was away. And I was looking so hard for them in my head with my barriers up, thinking it had to look a certain way, be a certain way while I was at Buffalo Pound. Because it's always very spiritual there. You're in nature, you're outside all the time. And so I was looking really, really hard for these epiphanies to happen. And when we're looking and we're trying and we're forcing and we're controlling, doesn't usually work out too good. All you end up being is disappointed. And so I quickly did become aware of what I was doing, that I was functioning up in my head. And as I was able to drop my barriers, I was able to see the gift right in front of me all along. And it really goes back to the being an allowance of others and of myself. And just being really present. And just constantly making choices just because they feel right. You know, and one of my kids was, I can't even remember, it was Camille. I can't remember what she was doing. And I asked her why she was doing it. And she's like, just because I want to. And I was like, that is a very good reason. You know, like we always think we have to justify what we're doing and have a good reason for it and be striving to be right in a situation. But it's like, no, it's actually so much simpler than that. It just is what feels like. It's like following that magical energy trail. You know, following that energy of what you want your life to be and making choices that feel light in your world. And going back to the vulture card, sometimes you're making choices that don't feel light. But if you didn't go down that path, you wouldn't be where you are today. And finally, anyone that picked number 3, the rabbit spirit. So on my last day, I was walking again from the beach back to the campsite through the trees, and I was actually looking for the owl. I was like, oh man, it'd be so cool if I saw the owl one more day. And I was being guided to walk in a certain direction, not a way that I would normally go back home. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll trust this. And so all of a sudden I can see this rabbit, is what I assume, is sitting up against a tree. And I was just like, is that a rabbit? But it was so still. And I zoomed in with my camera and I'm like, that can't be real. It's not moving. So I'd get closer to it. It didn't hop away. It still sat there looking totally solid like a statue. And again, I zoomed in with my camera and I can see, like, it looks like it's not even breathing. And so I get a little bit closer and sure enough, it's a real rabbit. And he hops away. And so I kind of started going towards the back onto the street. And I can tell this rabbit is watching me. And he kind of was still looking at me. I looked over and then he started jumping away. And I almost actually got the sense like it was Alice in Wonderland and I was supposed to follow the white rabbit. It wasn't a white rabbit. But anyways, it was really interesting, and it was the third animal that really resonated with me and really inspired me to look up the meaning of the rabbit spirit. So anyone that picked number 3, here's a message for you. A sunny meadow calls, and rabbit spirit appears to lead you out of your dark warren and into the light so that you can participate in a fertile and beautiful experience. It may seem safe below ground, but the magic happens when you come out and take the risk of being vulnerable and co-creating something new. You are being invited into a new life that you have no experience with. But have no fear. Today is also a time to be fruitful and productive as you enjoy rabbit spirit's sunny and prolific energy. At this time, whatever you intend to bring to life will find fertile ground. There are no mistakes, really, when you are co-creating with spirit. So let new ideas spring to the surface, knowing that now is a lucky time of tremendous possibility. So taking risks and being vulnerable and asking for what it is that you wish. So ask and you shall receive. Rabbit spirit, it reminds us that the magic happens when you come out and take the risk of being vulnerable and co-creating something new. So everywhere you've gone in your head to figure out in the past that hasn't worked before and you keep trying it over and over again, I have a simpler solution for you so that you can stop beating your head up against the wall. Ask for what you want, but then you have to be willing to use all your senses and be aware of what is being presented to you. These 3 cards actually really, or 3 animal meanings, really go so beautifully together. But it's just like, ask for what you want, and then with your barriers down, be willing to respond to something that's showing up in your life. You have to act. It's like you want to be good at public speaking, say. So you ask the universe. Well, then an opportunity arises in where you can do this. Don't resist it. Don't react it. Don't shut it down. Take the risk. Be vulnerable. Go for it. Make baby steps. It could be something so simple. It could be as easy as asking, putting your hand up when you're sitting in a classroom and asking your question. That's just a really simple example, but you know what I mean? It's like taking those baby steps to move towards where you want to go. And what I've found is using all the tools from Access Consciousness, which Karen and a lot of our shows are based around the tools of Access Consciousness. And these are ways to simplify your life. And a lot of them are just questions. Being in question, and being in question seems like, what's that going to do? It's such a subtle thing. But as you start doing it and being the question with absolutely everything, you notice your life starting to change. And with my relationships, back to my story about Izzy, my 10-year-old, how can I be with her? Knowing who that person is, and is that something that you can be different with? What can I do? What is this? First of all, when you find yourself in a situation or relationship where things aren't working, what is this? Simple question. What is this? What can I do with it? Can I change it? And if so, how? Because you are the only one that can change any situation. And it all can start with a simple question. How does it get any better than this? What else is possible here? There's so many things that we can do that don't have to be outrageous. You don't have to like pay a whole bunch of money for things to be a certain way, you know, like to change your life drastically. You know, like another example, I think of my financial situation. And I used to stress every payday. I would just like, I'd be in tears some paydays and just be like so distraught. Like, how am I going to make it through this next 2 weeks till I get paid again? And I can't live this way. And everything that came up with money that I had to pay for made me so tense and so upset. And like, I was constantly focusing on that. And that's what the universe gave me more of. And I started asking the universe to show me ease with money. Show me receiving. What is receiving of money? You know, like I started asking a lot of questions around money. I read the How to Become Money workbook. I've read it 3 or 4 times. It's another Access Consciousness book. And it really gets you to look at all your points of views around money and start seeing where a lot of your points of views came for, and a lot of them that simply aren't real or true. They're just something that you bought as real and true. So now, like, even though I'm no millionaire or anything, I don't stress over money anymore. I don't get upset on payday. My paychecks are the same, you know, but it's me that has changed. It's me that has changed the way that I view what's coming in. And if you focus on everything you have around you and be in utter gratitude of everything and keep asking for what it is that you want. I want happiness. Universe, show me that. Ask and you shall receive. So, they're all really simple things. All 3 spirit animals have 3 beautiful messages to share, and they're all really, really simple. But they're so simple that we tend to not use them because we think it has to be hard. So, if you could take your spirit animal from today, 1, 2, or 3, and you can choose whatever one you want. Now that you've heard them, if you're like, oh, I like that one better, then who cares? That's fine too. There is no right or wrong. But really focus on, you can go back and watch this again. And if this resonates with you and it makes you think of anyone, please share this video with them. Share the love in the world. And just take whichever spirit animal resonated with you and just like, so like with the vulture spirit, like look at all the areas in your life. Look at what's going on in your life right now that maybe seems tough or like a challenge or a problem, and really flip it on its head and start asking some questions and ask yourself what beautiful energy lies beneath all of this. And if you chose the owl spirit, then really practice dropping your barriers today and using all of your senses and just like using your body like the sensor that it is of all the energy coming in, but have no point of view about it. Remember to ask, like, is this even mine? This feeling, this thought, this emotion that has come in your head, is this even mine? Because 99% of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions aren't even ours. So practice putting your barriers down, getting out of your head, getting out of your own way, and be willing to trust. Trust what you are receiving from the universe. Trust the energies, that they are just energy, and then that you can choose to go down whichever path that you want to choose. And with the rabbit spirit, ask for what it is that you want. Be willing to be vulnerable. Be willing to just be you no matter what. And follow that magical energy trail again. They all have the same sort of underlying theme. Be the question. Always be in question. Simplify your life, my friends. And so I will leave you again with our 30-day challenge question. What can I choose to be that I refuse to be, that if I would be it would open up all receiving as if by magic? And Kara and I have a new question starting Monday. So for anybody that is new to this, and this sounds totally crazy, if you want to get crazier with us, come on over and join us in our group La Resistance. And Monday we will be starting a new 30-day question. It is going to be good. So I hope you can join us. And I hope you all have a very lovely weekend. Again, please share this video or like it if you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys all around here later. Bye-bye.